Donald Trump's estranged niece Mary Trump applauded House Democrats on Friday after they suggested renaming a federal prison in Miami in his honor. A measure introduced on Friday by Representatives John Garamendi of California, Jared Moskowitz of Florida, and Jerry Connolly of Virginia stipulates that any reference to the Miami Federal Correctional Institution will be replaced with the term Donald J. Trump Federal Correctional Institution. Mary Trump posted on X, the former Twitter, on Friday afternoon in response to the new measure, saying, "Hey Dems, more of this, please." Mary Trump has been an outspoken opponent of her uncle, who is expected to be the Republican contender for president in 2024 and is headed for a rematch with Joe Biden in November. Criticizing the former president, she penned the 2020 book Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. A week ago, a group of House Republicans submitted a measure to rename Washington Dulles International Airport, the main airport serving the Washington, D.C. area, to Donald J. Trump International Airport. This prompted efforts to rename the federal penitentiary located in Florida. 6 additional Republican representatives, including Chuck Fleischmann of Tennessee, Paul Gosar of Arizona, Barry Moore of Alabama, Troy Nehls of Texas, Andy Ogles of Tennessee, and Michael Waltz of Florida, supported the bill, which was sponsored by Representative Guy Reschenthaler of Pennsylvania. Additionally, Guy Reschenthaler, a congressman from Pennsylvania, introduced H.R. 7845 on March 29. 6 other Republican congressmen, including Charles Fleischmann of Tennessee, Paul Gosar of Arizona, Barry Moore of Alabama, Troy Nehls of Texas, Andy Ogles of Tennessee, and Michael Waltz of Florida, also supported the legislation. John Foster Dulles, the Secretary of State under President Dwight D. Eisenhower from 1952 to 1959 during the Cold War, is honored by having his airport named after him. The same year he resigned, at the age of 71, he passed away from colon cancer. In a statement provided to Newsweek on Friday, Connolly stated that Republicans' intentions to rename Dulles were the impetus for the idea to rename the federal prison located in Miami. When our Republican colleagues introduced their bill to rename Dulles after Donald Trump, I said the more fitting option would be to rename a federal prison, the member of Congress stated. He went on, "I don't see why we should wait. There are about 100 felony charges against Donald Trump. He was found guilty of both sexual assault and slandering the victim of that abuse. In a civil fraud prosecution, he received a fine in the hundreds of millions of dollars. It is only fitting that his name be attached to the federal jail nearest Mar-a-Lago." Regarding the joint statement, Garamendi said, saying he could not think of a more fitting tribute to our former president, Donald J. Trump, than renaming the closest federal prison to Mar-a-Lago in his honor. Last week, a few Democratic lawmakers in Virginia similarly chastised their Republican counterparts for putting forth H.R. 7845. On X, the previous Twitter platform, Representative Abigail Spanberger expressed her belief that the concept is ridiculous but sadly real. Congress must act on pressing issues like reauthorizing the Federal Aviation Administration and passing the National Security Supplemental, the member of Congress stated. Yet this is what a member of House Republican leadership focuses on: renaming Virginia's Dulles Airport after Trump. Following the bill's announcement last week, Congressman Don Beyer chastised President Trump's actions in a post to X, stating that one of his first acts as president was a racist Muslim ban that blocked permanent American residents from their own country. In January 2017, not long after taking office, Trump implemented the travel ban. Beyer claimed that during that time, he went to Dulles to try to help innocent people caught up in the chaos. "I remember grandparents detained for hours as their terrified families waited," he said. "Those detained at Dulles and other U.S. airports committed no crime. They just happened to be traveling at a shameful moment for our country." Representative Denver Riggleman, a former Republican from Virginia, denigrated the bill by posting on X that no sane Virginia rep would support it and said it was not an April Fool's joke. "Stay away from your own dang airports if you wish to be a sycophant." After being introduced, the bill to rename Dulles Airport in honor of Trump was forwarded to the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure. Right now, there is almost little likelihood that the bill will pass into law. Democrats are in charge of the Senate and the White House, but Republicans have a razor-thin majority in the House. Connolly stated in the release on Friday that he hoped our Republican friends will join us in bestowing upon Donald J. Trump the only honor he truly deserves, in reference to the Democrats' drive to rename the jail after Trump. Furthermore, an attorney claims that former President Donald Trump might commit the same error in his impending criminal trial about hush money as he did in his most recent defamation trial. Andrew Weissman, a prominent prosecutor for special counsel Robert Mueller in the Trump-Russia probe, stated that if Trump, the presumed Republican presidential nominee, testifies in his own defense, the trial, which is scheduled to start on April 15th, may be disastrous for him. The upcoming Trump New York criminal trial may be a repeat of the disastrous second Trump-Carroll defamation trial if, when Trump takes control of the defense, as he can't help himself at playing lawyer and smarter than everyone, when he's neither, Weissman wrote on X, which used to be Twitter, if, when Trump assumes command of the defense, the impending Trump New York criminal trial might end up looking a lot like the disastrous second Trump-Carroll defamation trial because he can't stop playing the part of the clever aleck and lawyer when he's neither. Andrew Weissman on Threads, Weissman 11, Sunflower. In January, Trump gave testimony in support of himself at the defamation trial that resulted from a lawsuit filed by E. Jean Carroll. Judge Lewis A. Kaplan chastised him for violating the limits of what he could tell the jury during his brief, under 3-minute testimony, as the Associated Press stated at the time. Before the admonition, Trump had been warned he would be kicked out of the court for disobeying orders to keep silent during Carroll's testimony. Trump was forced to reimburse Carroll $83.3 million for remarks he made following her initial public accusations that he had sexually assaulted her in the changing area of a high-end New York department store. The decision followed a different jury's May verdict of $5 million to Carroll for proving that Trump was guilty of defamation and sexual assault but not rape. Carroll has been the target of Trump's comments even after the judgments, leading some to urge her to file a third lawsuit against him. In the hush money case, it is alleged that Trump fabricated corporate documents to conceal the type of payments he made to his then-attorney, Michael Cohen, in order to deny reports of extramarital affairs that surfaced during his 2016 presidential campaign. To 34 felony counts of fabricating company documents, each carrying a maximum 4-year jail sentence, Trump has entered a not guilty plea. He has repudiated all misconduct. Because Trump's daughter works as a Democratic political strategist, his lawyers filed a request on April 5th asking Manhattan Judge Juan Merchan to step down from the case due to bias and a conflict of interest. The first of Trump's 4 criminal prosecutions to go to trial is the hush money trial, which also happens to be the first criminal trial of a former president. Additionally, social media users have criticized former President Donald Trump harshly for reportedly planning to sue the court in his Manhattan hush money case. Citing court documents that were not yet public, the New York Times said that Trump was preparing to launch a Article 78 action against Judge Juan Merchan, who is presiding over his criminal trial in Manhattan. Judges and government entities can be challenged by citizens under a specific action that is governed by New York state law. The Office of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is prosecuting Trump on criminal counts related to claims that the former president illegally fabricated financial records to hide alleged payments made to adult film star Stormy Daniels to silence her about an alleged 2006 affair. Trump has entered a not guilty plea to the allegations against him and denies having had an affair. The Manhattan case is the first of Trump's criminal cases scheduled for trial on April 15th. Despite the opinion of some legal experts that it is the least noteworthy, Trump has been criticizing Judge Merchan more and more on social media as that day draws near, accusing him of being prejudiced and unbiased against him and demanding his recusal. In the midst of these attacks, some of which have even targeted the judge's daughter, Merchan has extended a gag order against Trump, but the former president has persisted in making them. Trump intends to use the action to persuade an appeals court to postpone the start of the trial and break the gag order, according to people familiar with the situation who spoke with the Times. The outlet pointed out that it is unlikely to be beneficial for the former president and that the appeals court might move swiftly to reject it. Following the report's publication, a number of comments appeared on X, the previous Twitter platform, criticizing Trump and his group for being desperate.